So if you say buying a shirt from a store is an epic, then you will have three user stories in that. What are the three user stories? Go to the store, find the shirt, make payment. Right? So going to the store, this is all the acceptance criteria. First find the store address, drive to the store, find the parking, then enter the store. And to find the shirt, you have to locate the aisle where the shirt is, look through the options, select the shirts you like, try them out, and pick the one you like the most, and then go to the counter, make the payment, take the receipt, exit store. So, on a high level overview, I am telling that this is the epic, these are the user stories, and this is acceptance criteria. But this can be break up into much more smaller chunks. So making a payment, you will have two options. You can either make a cash payment or you can make a credit card payment. You can divide it into two stories. Like one will be making a payment with credit card, making a payment with cash. So similarly, based on the requirement and the complexity or size of the feature you are going to implement, you can break the story cards into smaller chunks. So this is an example of what a user story looks like. In 99% of the time, every company will be using this same users template. Like as a user, I want to perform something so that I can reach some goal. So in the example which we have seen in the previous slide, if you are taking the middle one, like find a shirt, it will look like as a user I want to be able to find the section of the store where shirts are kept so that I can choose the one I want to take. So this is the user story for locate the shirt aisle, right? So to locate the shirt aisle, I want to able to find the section of the store where shirts are kept so that I can choose the one I want to take. So acceptance criteria will be shirt selection should be marked clearly so that user can find it. Shirts of different sizes should be available. So shirts of different brands should be available. Shirts of different colors and patterns should be available. See how we are going down into the every minute detail of that requirement. So similarly in the software industry also, when you have a simple requirement also, when you are defining the acceptance criteria, you will dig much deeper into the minute details of the feature. Like for login page itself, for a simple login page, you will have much more acceptance criteria. So it will be just like as a user, I want to be able to log into my Gmail account so that I can check my email. That's what a simple user story looks like. But coming to acceptance criteria, you will have all the details about the email address, the password, the restrictions, and everything. So, password should be only 8 characters and it should contain at least one special character, and the password should not contain any spaces, so and so on. Whatever the requirements you will have on the password and whatever the requirements you have on the email address, you will be listing them all in the acceptance criteria. So acceptance criteria, it will be like different. Some people just use this kind of plain sentences. So like the password should be only 8 characters. Not, password should not be less than 8 characters, and the password should contain at least one special character, and so on. And some companies use different formats for the acceptance criteria also. Some people say that some people have a template like, given that a user is trying to log in by entering his password, then the password should not be less than 8 characters. It depends on the company to company, and you will be given a template on how to write it and you will be using it. Initially you may have struggle like, "Oh, okay, this is becoming more complex," but as you go down the lane and when you start writing, After like 2 or 3 months, you will get habited to that. And moreover, you will have like tens of hundreds of stories with acceptance criteria already written in the documentation, for any older projects or the same project which other BAs might have done. And then you can refer to them and make use of that to how to incorporate your acceptance criteria and your stories, and write good user stories which will eventually get approved by the business people. Good. Any questions? Okay. So mapping and mapping is that's what we saw just now. So how do we map each and functionality to this? So to go to the store, we mapped all this to go to the store card, and we mapped all this. How do you find the aisle? How do you select the shirt? And for payment, what are the things you do? We map this accordingly. So this is a user story template, and so this is a typical, like, earlier stages of agile scrum methodology, people used to have this kind of board, like a manual board placed in one corner of their office room with three lanes on that. So one will be to start, in progress, and completed. So whatever the story cards which are not yet picked up will be in the start lane. So they'll write them on the sticky notes and stick them in this column. And then when something is picked up for development, and so it all depends. Like some people, they'll just put all the story cards which are approved and requirements ready in the start, and whenever it is taken for development and testing, they'll put it in the progress. And once the dev and testing is completed, they'll move that card to the completed field. So once the all story cards are moved into the completed stage, then we will have the final product ready. Okay. So this is like examples of how the user story mapping is done. I don't want to get all this into your brains and get you confused, but that's why I picked up a simple example, like how a simple buying a shirt will happen. You can just understand it in the way of online shopping as well. So if you are buying a shirt online using a software, similarly, so log in into the website. First one will be, then select the shirt, browse the category, select the shirt, select your options like pricing and the color or the brand which you need. Like let's say an example of eBay or some site. On the left side you will have options to select your price range and everything, right? Find it, then making a payment, go to the payment page, then go check out, then make a payment by using credit or debit card or any gift card available in that. And then complete your payment, you will get a email confirmation, and after that you will receive the shipment to your house, right? So this is also another example, like I was telling you the sticky notes, right? So there's some people maintain it like this, used to maintain it actually when Jira was not widely popular. People used to maintain it like this as well. So organizing the email. So we have these options. So this is the theme, these are epics, and these are the user stories. Search by keyword, move emails, create subfolders, and limit search to one field. So these are all features. So if you see vertically under the organize email, the first two columns will be the features under organize email. So don't get confused with that. So organize email will be a theme or feature. Search email and file emails will be epics. And under search email, search by keyword, limit search to one word, limit search to one place, these are all the user stories. Under file emails epic, these are two user stories. Under the compose email epic, these will be the user stories. So these are all user stories. And As per the plan, release 1 will consist of these user stories delivered, and release 2 will go with these user stories, and in release 3 we are planning to deliver the bottom lane user stories. But each release contains user stories that are not dependent on the release 2 or release 3 user stories, but they can be delivered separately. They are divided and the user stories are written so that they are following invest methodology, which we just now saw. Like everything is independent, estimatable, and everything, so they follow all this. That's why we should be able to deliver release 1 separately, and release 2 add new features, and release 3 add new features. So if you see here, in release 1 we are implementing only search by keyword, and we are extending the search to one field and one plus field here in the release 2, and in release 3 we are extending the search to attachments as well and subfolders as well. So similarly, so extending the features, adding more features in next subsequent releases. And so once everything is done, the project gets over. And so but the release 1 also can be seen and used by the users. If they plan to release it to the end users, then yeah, obviously we can release it, but with the limited features. And release 2 also, after the release 1 is released to production users, the release 2 also can be released in a next time frame, where the deployment happens and the production or real-time users will be able to access the new features also after release 2. And subsequently, after release 3, these new features get added to the real-time application once it is developed and tested thoroughly. Any questions? So these are all same like what I have explained you before. So example of a front card, I mean the user login. If you see what would be the user name login, how the user story looks like, and in the back end what happens. So there will be n number of options on a simple login page as well. You will have remember me here, and what happens when it is checked, what happens when you click on forgot password. You can have a separate user story for forgot password itself. So when this is clicked, you will be taken to a different screen where you will be asked for your authentication details, any I mean OPT code or something, right? So and similarly, you can write a simple user story or divide these into different user stories where you can perform the work in smaller chunks of features. Okay. I want to give you, can you take a photo of this if possible and try to write some acceptance criteria for this? As a library user, I want to renew my book so that I can use it for another 15 days. What could be the acceptance criteria for this? Anything that comes to your mind.
I'm thinking that user should have a book,
Mm-hmm.
like a valid book, and it should not be overdue if it is already renewed or not, to check it first.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, just to add on to what she said, like, yeah, a user cannot renew a book that's not been already officially established in the library.
Yeah. So I want single liners, like just tell it in a requirement perspective, one line. Like I should be, I should be, I should be. Okay. As a user, I should be.
I should have a valid library card.
Yeah.
I should have a valid book.
Yeah.
Uh, the book should have permission to be renewed. I mean, from the perspective of library, the book is eligible for the renewal.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, I could think of these three things.
So first of all, when you log in here, the user should have valid library card. Okay. Next, I think our session will end in 1 minute. I mean 3 minutes. I think. So the user should be presented with list of books he owes. Right.
Yes.
The user should be able to select the book he wishes to renew, right?
So Sam, are these considered to be like are these considered to be user stories?
Yeah, this is a user story and we are writing the acceptance criteria for this. So to fulfill this user story, what all need to be considered, right? So as a
Okay.
library user, I want to renew my book, but how do we? You have a valid library card. When you log in, you should be presented with list of books, and the user should be able to select the book he wishes to renew, right? And you can use any negative acceptance criteria as well. The books that are overdue should not be available for selection if it is a requirement, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So this should be sample acceptance criteria, and if the business has any more needs and they want to incorporate something else when they are doing it, then yeah, they can do it. They can pay. So paying the overdue fees will become another story. That will not be related to this. So this should be independent of other story cards, right? So that will be handled in a different topic. So this is like an example of how do you write the acceptance criteria. But whatever you do in the training sessions, when you go into the real time, it will be different, but you will have an idea of what it looks like. Okay, you will be using the template provided by your organization, but this is a sample user story and its associated acceptance criteria. Do I have any more? So yeah, this is just a summary. I wanted to show you the Jira also today, how it looks like, how do you create user stories and etc. But we are already out of time. So I'll show you, I already registered an account with Jira and I'll show you tomorrow how an agile board and how Jira works and how the user stories are managed on Jira. So we'll take a look at Jira tomorrow. Okay.
Sounds good, Sam.
Yeah. So these are user stories summary whatever we discussed. So they are user stories should describe the features in user's perspective, and more information, more useful, and test cases should be written before the development when the user story is written, and user story should be following the invest acronym terminology. Okay. So I think you guys had a good idea of what agile scrum methodology and how do you write a user story now. So pick any website and try to write for a couple of user stories, few user stories, and try to jot down the acceptance criteria also supporting that, and then yeah, maybe yeah, it will help you practice a little bit. Okay.